global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. Finally, this is getting very interesting. It's getting better. This is breaking and this is interesting. Don't forget that some few hours ago and even some few days back, it has been back and forth movement between the House of Rep members and Ibok, Ette, retired, the sole administrator for Rivers State, where they are scheduling meetings and rescheduling meeting. But this time around, the meeting is underway and it looks as if Ibok, Ette started on the wrong footing. But let's quickly dive into the news to find out what transpired in the plenary or in the session. They had to some extent they had to move into closed door meeting, just of course for us not to get the full details. But at the beginning of this whole drama, let's quickly dive into the news to find out exactly what transpired. Before we do that, kindly subscribe to our channel. Now, the sole administrator of Rivers State, retired Vice Admiral Ibok, Ette, has pleaded with members of the National Assembly's ad hoc committee for additional time to deliver a comprehensive briefing on the situation in the state after 1 month. Now, appearing before the committee after failing to honor an earlier invitation on Thursday, Mr. Ibok attributed his absence to pressing matters related to stabilizing governance in the state, which is currently under a state of emergency. Mr. Chairman, please permit me to begin by respectfully acknowledging your leadership and the critical role of this committee in safeguarding the democratic and constitutional integrity of our great nation, he said in his opening remarks. I deeply regret my inability to attend earlier engagements with this esteemed committee. Today is exactly 10 days after the first invitation, and in between we have had 4 days that were off calendar as public holidays, plus the weekends inclusive, he explained. Mr. Ibok said that his absence was not intended as a slight to the committee, but rather a result of the weighty and urgent demands of stabilizing governance in a state under a declared emergency. While assuring lawmakers that the situation in Rivers is relatively calm, it was always calm, he cautioned that it remains fragile and requires careful handling. Seeking further, he stated, it is important that any engagement with this committee is done with the depth, accuracy, and clarity it rightfully deserves. Mr. Ibok was appointed by President Bola Tinubu in March, following the controversial suspension of Governor Siminalayi Fubara. They had to go into a closed-door session. Hopefully, we are hopeful that when they are done, they will probably give us the briefings if they so wish. My colleague is in the house. All of a sudden, things are opening up. I wonder, is 1 month, what does it really take? What briefing are you really looking at? You're not opening any project per se. You made the state very peaceful, and the state is relatively peaceful. Apart from the women and the men shouting, give us Fubara, I really do not know any other thing, except there's some things he's not really making public. What's your take on the very, very tactical and diplomatic way that Ibok started his meeting after, 10 days, plus public holidays and all, of literally ignoring the committee?
Well, I must first of all say that my position, I stand to be corrected, but let's try to be very practical by putting ourselves in his shoes. And by doing that, first of all, I want to say that 1 month is enough for you to write whatever thing that you've observed. The oversight functions there is just to make sure that whatever you're doing, you're not outside the boundary of your constitutional right, which for me, it's not in the constitution, in whatever draft that they gave to him, which has already been gazetted. So they just want to make sure that they protect it such that he doesn't go outside. But be that as it may, personally, I think where the dragging of leg and all of that comes in is strictly because of the fact that, sorry to say this, he doesn't have what to report. That's number one. Number two, the fact that he had gone outside of the boundaries. And that is, first of all, making sure dissolving all the existing committee. They didn't send him there to dissolve anything. He had dissolved it. He had appointed people, and those people were meant to go through scrutiny of the legislative committee. Whether we like it or not, that's the truth. They're supposed to go through it. And if you look at it, most of the dissolutions that we have seen outrightly has nothing to do with the peaceful coexistence of River State, which was his central purpose of being there. You understand? So I know that he has goofed a lot. So right now he's trying to defame him. He's possibly trying to see how he can get across to the people who are behind all of these, the giving of name, the force and the push for him to act the way he's acting. I know very well that the presidency must have been called and say, sir, what's going on? The public is raging. They want to know how far. We, in our meeting with you, there was an agreement. And that agreement was that whatever this guy will do, he'll be reporting to us. And you agreed to it. And as at that time, you will notice that when such things happen, because some of us have been in environment that are like that, the big man will keep quiet and allow you to use your discretion to do whatever you have to do. So the issue of possibly spending unwisely, because first of all, they'll look at it. There are a lot of smart dudes that are there in the house. The first thing they'll ask you, sorry, the financial part is very important, don't forget. Very important. So they'll look at and say, okay, the financial part, how much have you expended thus far? And tell us what and what you have paid. Because the only thing, releasing those monies into your hand, you're only expected to pay salaries. Awesome. You understand? And we want to see document that it has to do with how many people are there, the salaries that are to be paid. And they will take time. Don't forget that these are legislature, they have all the time. Because when they want to put you in a corner, those are some of the things that will prevail. So they're going to sit him down. Financially, what's up? They look at it. Why is this and this not balancing? They gave you, this was the allocation they gave to you. Salary covers only this. So why is it that you're spending this, you're spending who, and from there? That's why they want it to be closed-door meeting, because a lot of things will transpire during that closed-door meeting. They don't want the other people to know, because so many, what happened? Actually, I think so person need to explain this and all of that. That's why I say he is in a very serious fix. Whatever you have to explain, it must be such that it makes sense. Because if it doesn't make any sense, bros, you go for me the money. However you want to do it, you do it. This is your salary. This is how much. And all of that will be set. This is how much you are supposed to take home as salary. Why is it that this amount is not there again? This amount. What project are you doing? Oh, God, show us the project you are doing. That 500 million just went out like that. Or 1 billion. When a lot of things will transpire. So I think that's why they're making it closed door. But be that as it may, he's a man who has sat in a very reputable position. But even no matter how reputable, they will document with which you have to work with. I think that was the mistake. That's the starting point of this whole thing. Because before they started this whole thing, they would have called him and said, these are the only areas you are supposed to function from. But again, outside of this area, you have no matter what. That's how it should have been. Though there is no provision of his office in the Constitution, but however, they would have given him and said, we've done, what we have done is outrightly wrong, but however, we are going to manage it in such a way that, it won't culminate into anything. So right now, it's one thing to say, I'll stay in the office as long as, another thing is to manage it too. It's a very difficult, because if at the end of the day, you're not doing anything, there is no issues, because you're going to bring out all those issues. Are they communal clashes as a result of anything? Well, the bomb blasts and all of that.
Generate communal clash now.
So you gotta create things. Whatever you're gonna do, you need to be authentic, because when it gets to the public, a lot of people are gonna be reacting on it, and they'll call certain persons who are representing them there, and before you know. So right now the man is sitting on a cake of gunpowder. Will that one explode? So many small or big secret that was squeezed in. We are going to hear it, and I'm sorry for some of those people, because ordinarily a lot of things wouldn't have to be where they are. But however, let's see how you manage it.
But let's see how it goes. Like you rightly said, Nigerians usually do not react to things like this much. They will just go on social media and like they will say, rant. nothing really will come out of it. But let's say this will play out, because definitely lives are